Hello, hello. Welcome back to Embrace Your Truth podcast with your host, Kanija Grant. And as you guys can tell, I have a guest with me today, a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Do your thing.
Hola, hola, everybody. Tyler from A. Yeah, I
From,
don't have really have a title, but yeah.
from A. So, question: have you ever went by the Ty? How you feel about that nickname?
Funny story. When I got to college, I was trying to not. I guess the closest word I could think of is reinvent myself. So I tried to
Mm,
get Ty to stick, but it was like too many people had already knew me by Tyler, so it's too late.
dang, but they couldn't revert over
Too
a
late.
little bit.
You got to get
Wow.
those nicknames established before.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. So, as you know, Tyler is a good friend of mine. He knows what the podcast is about. So, I got to ask the self improvement question. Okay, what is self improvement to you, and how do you go about improving yourself, whether it be on a day to day basis or just in general?
Self improvement to me is just having that real conversation with yourself and just like realizing, okay, like if I want to reach this final form of myself, it's gonna take this and that and that. So like it's just being honest with yourself and like once you're able to be honest with yourself, I feel like that just makes that process a lot more smoother.
Right. Okay, so you said final form. I'm very interested. Like, what do you mean, like yourself, like in your later years, like your older ages, or just like, is it like a spiritual type of final form? Like, I'm just curious.
I don't know the exact definition, but it's like you know how like everybody just has like this kind of like envision of themselves, of, like how they want to see their life play out, and like how the type of
Mm,
person they want to grow and become.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I was just curious. I was like, I'm spiritual and I'd be all into that. Okay, so, well, I don't mean to, put your not your but your business out there. Tyler does work, within the music field, the music industry. I don't even know when to call it industry. I don't know, but he
Yeah, that's
works.
the best way to put it. The music
Oh,
industry.
okay. Yeah, so I have some questions in regards to that because I love music and I know you have a lot of knowledge on the topic. So, first and foremost, why did you go into this line of work? What influenced you, or like what inspired you? Where did it come from?
Actually, I was kind of bamboozled to become a part of it.
Oh,
When I
wow.
first went to college, like my whole thing was kind of like sports journalism. Like I wanted to be on ESPN,
Mm,
things like that. And my counselor was telling me about this program, and they were like, "Yo, they can put you with basically like an internship. Get your rank up and whatnot." But the name of the program was called Music Business, right?
okay.
Feel me? And like I said, I was kind of scammed. Once I got there, I realized it was like no relation to sports journalism at all. I'm like, oh fuck. But then
Damn.
like the more and more I learned about it, and like especially like A&Ring and like
Mhm.
curation and stuff, I'm like, damn, I like making playlists. I like discovering new artists.
Right.
I was like, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? And I gave it a shot, and the rest is history, very much,
Okay, so it's kind of like things kind of just fell into place. That's cool.
very
Um,
much.
so for the listeners, can you explain what A and Ring is? For me as well. For me, exactly. You could go into detail a little bit.
The best way I can put it, let's see. It's kind of like managing an artist, but it's not as hands-on. It's more so like you're helping them more with the creation process. So it's like connecting the dots, if that makes sense. So like if it's a singer,
Okay.
for example, I might help them find the right songwriter. I might help them find the right producer. I might help them like I think you should go about it this way. It's like you're
Okay.
holding their hand in that way.
So it's like you're kind of like their. I don't know why I want to say like you're their fairy godfather. It's kind of like you. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Okay. So if you had to give a summary of who you are and what you're about, like outside of work, it could involve work, but just in general, if you could give a summary of who you are, like what would it be? Just
Uh,
yeah.
for sure. I think I hate that you said that, but like I feel like working is starting to become like so much of my personality in a way. It
Hmm.
does not. It doesn't consume most of it, but like a lot of what I am and like what I stand for kind of revolves around work because I kind of just have like this workaholic mentality. So like I'm very like driven in that sense. I'm very like wouldn't say focused, but I am like cerebral in the sense that I'm just like my eyes are just on the bigger picture and like how can I reach that next level in a sense. Someone
Hmm.
that is very dedicated, motivated, but also I still have like a somewhat of a fun side, mysterious side, but off face value, most people wouldn't
Hmm.
know that because I'm kind of like standoffish, a little shy, a little like I keep to myself because I'm an only child. So like
Right.
if I never talk to another person in my life, I think my life wouldn't change. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. So
Okay.
I'm
Well,
like
no,
a ghost.
you said you're like a what?
I'm like a ghost, very much.
Not a
I
ghost.
come and I go.
Okay. Okay, cool. No, that only child syndrome, y'all, yeah, I understand. I've come across a lot of only childs, and y'all really live the life, but at the same time, I feel like you guys, well, okay, I've met, just to go into a little bit, I've met different kinds of only childs, and I can't remember if I already talked to you about this or not, but anyway, for the listeners, I've met different kinds of only childs. Um, I've met one kind where it's like, the fact that they are the only child, it kind of has daunted on their life and daunted on who they are, and it's caused for them to become like very dependent on others, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it was, they were kind of just like, they kind of felt like they had to go find themselves, or they had to go find happiness in others, or like they needed that happiness in others because they never had it growing up, like when it comes to siblings. And then I've met only childs like you, to where it's like, y'all just be chilling.
Literally.
Yeah, so no, that's cool. Okay. If you had to choose someone who inspires you the most, who would it be and why?
Whew, that's a great question. The most uh ironically that we're on a podcast.
Hmm.
It was in high school. I used to really watch this podcast a lot. It was called Jalen and Jacoby. And basically it started like this former NBA player named Jalen Rose. And like you ever have like a parasocial relationship with something?
Period.
It feels like they're in your life, but you guys don't know each other, but it's like you know each other in a sense. If that makes sense.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. And that kind of like I started watching this podcast like or listening to it my like sophomore year of high school. And I had like basically listened to it every week because they dropped like 5 episodes a week. And
Oh,
like
wow.
the fact that like they were like older to me, like both of you guys, like they felt like uncles in a way, and they had
Mm.
like they would like answer like calls from the fans, and I would like call all the time. They would give me like
Oh,
life
shoot.
advice, shit. So it really felt like they're a part of my life. Like I remember one time I told them a story and they answered it on a podcast, and like one of them like start crying, like
What?
literally.
Oh, I would have felt so like, I would have felt like they was my family.
Literally, like
What?
it felt like I grew up with them on some shit. So like Jalen Rose is
Yeah.
like one of my biggest inspirations. And like one of like the biggest things that he did was he created like a charter school. It was called
Mm.
like Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. And I'm like, damn, I would love to make a school like in my community.
Right. Right. No, that's wow. See, I love that. I was just thinking about this yesterday. I really like, I applaud the people, the influencers, the podcasters, whoever the case, that actually connect with
Yeah,
their viewers, their supporters, their fan base. Like that is what it's supposed to be. I'm
facts.
so sick and tired of seeing these people on these lives, or just so-called influencers that's just there for themselves. Like girls be on live doing their makeup. I'm going on a tangent, but girls be on live doing their makeup, doing their hair, just looking at themselves in the camera, ignoring the comments. Get off a live. Go ahead and record a YouTube video, because I don't be liking that. So no, I that's cool. And
Yeah,
that's
like
why
for that,
yeah.
what you saying, like they're just like in my eyes, that's like wasting a platform. Like you have all these people
Yeah.
at your not your hand, but like literally not depending on you, but like they fuck with you, they fuck with your energy, and like you're not feeding
Right.
into them.
See, now you're on follow, because because I'm not gonna feel neglected. Okay, no, that's lit. You said what's their names again? Because I
So
might look them up.
the dude, his name is Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, this
Okay,
man like he be on TV, he be on ESPN. Like
okay, Jalen Rose. Okay, hold on.
ironically, fun
Hmm.
fact, he was the first person ever in history to be named Jalen. Like
Wait, how old is he?
he's like 40 something.
You said the first person ever to be named Jalen.
Yes, his grandmother created the name Jalen, and like once college team that he played on was like super popular, and like
Hmm.
after that, every black parent was naming their kid Jalen or Jordan or Michael or some shit like
What? No,
facts.
I'm actually what?
She
So okay,
combined the
so
names James and Leonard. And crazy,
dang,
right?
his grandma did her big one because that's such a nice name.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he mixed? Because you know,
No, no.
like
I know what you're talking about. You talking about all the mixed kids be named Jaden and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so wow, that's really interesting. So, like, over these months getting to know you, I know that you are an old soul, and I'm an old soul too. And so I'm just curious, like, from your point of view, being a guy, like, with you having an older soul, does that make it harder for you to, like, connect with people? Like, especially with your line of work, because, you know, everybody is different, you know? So does it make it harder for you to, like, connect or, like, understand people? Or is it kind of just like,
No, to an extent, like I feel like if I didn't like take the major I took in college, I probably would have studied like sociology because I'm like
mm,
I'm really interested in people and like why they do the things they do and like the psychology behind it and shit.
okay.
So it's not I'm like an empath. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like I
Anything for
understand a lot of
empathy.
people. Like I feel for them and shit. Do I
Mm-hmm.
agree with a lot of people in this shit? No, but like I
Yeah,
understand it.
right.
So like
That's real.
I'm for the most part I'm very like I can almost go in every room and like talk to people. Maybe
Oh,
I can
wow.
even if I'm putting up a front, like I can still make it work.
Right.
Like I
And
can
that's all
really
that matters.
like I'm a professional at code switching. Like
See, and that's a beautiful talent or whatever the case to have, especially when you work with a lot of people. You got to know how to maneuver. You know, not of course don't fake the funk or don't be
facts.
yourself, but yeah. I think I had a question. Where it go? It'll come back. It'll
You
come
just
back.
asked me about my old soul and like is it hard for me to like relate to people? Is there a relation to that?
Yeah, it was. I had a question based off of something that you said, but like it went away like in 1 second. You were
Oops.
saying the code switching. It'll come back. Hopefully, it comes back. If it doesn't, it's okay. All right. So now another music question.
Okay.
So where do you see the music going? Like, where do you think we'll be at in 5 years in regards to music, like the genres? Do you think it'll still be the same as today, or do you feel like things may? I mean, of course, you can't tell the future, but just like gauging wise, based on talent and what comes in and what's coming in, like, where do you think the music will be in like 5 years?
Definitely it's gonna just keep getting younger and younger. Like it's a huge
Mm,
connect between like older artists and like just the youth today. Like
right.
and they're like a lot of kids today aren't going back and like listening to old shit. So like I feel like that's kind of like a huge disconnect. So like we're just gonna keep getting younger, which kind of sucks in a way because like I feel
Yeah.
like what made the artists of our time so great is because they were influenced by great artists, you know. So it's like
Right.
that shit goes a long way. So if you influenced by some bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, the pretty self-explanatory. Dang, that's real though. Like I was thinking about it. I'm like, the music, it really is gonna get younger. But I'm gonna continue to hold on to my old schools, like my R&B playlist. It's gonna forever hit. You know,
And
I love.
every so often we're gonna have, you know, some people that still like that feel old and got that old soul. So
Hmm.
every so often you're gonna find somebody.
Yeah, like the what's her name? The Ari Lennoxes,
Of
the Jasmine
course.
Sullivans. Yeah, yeah. We need them to keep coming for sure. For
Facts.
sure. Okay, so to flip the switch a little bit, do you want to give the people? Well, actually, no, I'm going to request that you give the people some green flags and red flags in women. This is so random, but just to flip the switch
Green
that
flag.
you've noticed throughout your life.
Green flags. This is hard. Hard. Give me something.
Okay. So red flags in men for me personally, is a man that speaks over me. Like a man who cannot have a conversation, just kind of wants to talk and doesn't take a step back to actually listen. It could be with anybody. That's a red flag because it's given self-absorbed. Another red flag is a man who is Of course, it's like I feel like I can't really fault some men for this because it's just the way that our society is, but it's a red flag. Men who go for like, the baddie culture and then degrade women that are outside of that caliber, like it's just a red flag. I don't know. I always take it back to like how are you viewing yourself? How do you view yourself? I feel like the reflection, people's reflection, how they, are to others or how they view others is just a reflection of themselves. So I just feel like when men degrade a woman and like, she's not this, she's not that, she don't got that, she don't got this, that's a red
Makes sense. Makes sense.
flag.
Let's see for me. Red flags. I think a woman that's like too like not social media oriented, but like
Mm.
you worried about shit that don't matter. That pisses me off. I don't know why, but like,
Mhm.
why do I care who G Herbo is dating? Why do I care about like these random people that have no talents, have to provide nothing society?
Mhm.
That shit pisses me off.
I
Like,
hear that one a lot from men. They're like, "Oh, I can't do the social media girls." I'm like,
like it's one thing to post about yourself and like things that matter to you, but like
mm.
shit that don't matter at all.
You're like the shade room type stuff. Like it's a shade room post every day. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You feel me? You feel me?
Okay.
What's another red flag? I think a woman that makes too many decisions like emotionally. That makes sense.
No, no, no. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Like if you're not sitting about like thinking about it, like weighing out the pros and cons, and you just acting off of instinct and just how you feel in the moment, that shit is kind of weird to me. I don't know. Like
No,
I get
I
it. Like I
agree.
said, I understand it, but
Yeah, yeah. Like even as a woman, I agree with that one. I think it's just because I am so headstrong. I wouldn't say I've never struggled with like acting off of emotion, but for the most part, when it comes to like having to actually think about stuff or like I'm always going to be logical first. That's just me because I don't like to be emotional. That
uh, positive. Oh, green flags.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Green flags.
Let's see. You didn't say yours.
Green flags. There's a lot of green flags. There's a lot of green flags and take a pause. A green flag in a man is a man that a man that is romantic first and foremost, like not like the social media romantic, but like actually romantic, like yeah, chivalry, all of that. Like it doesn't have to be over the top for me personally, but that's a green flag because it just shows that you care, shows that you have some sort of love in you. So that's a green flag. Another green flag is a man who is very confident in what he does and and who he is. He doesn't have to be like loudly confident, like no, but just self assured. I think self assured is such a beautiful trait in everybody. Self assuredness. So that's a green flag. Another green flag. A man who obviously communication. We hear that all the time. It's kind of it's been beaten by a dead horse, but that's how bad communication is nowadays. But it's a green flag when a man can communicate, like just a good communicator. I'm not talking about in regards to like texting all day or hopping on the phone. I mean like when you guys actually do talk, the conversations hold value. So yeah, I think those are some green flags for me.
Makes sense. Let's see. Green flags for me. Someone that definitely has a sense of humor. Like
Mm,
obviously I'm a very serious person, but like damn, like
yeah,
you take yourself serious all the damn time. It's like, what are we doing? Like, are we not enjoying life? Like,
back.
are we not trying to make the most of things? So like that also kind of plays into like someone that like that's not so headstrong on just like structure and like plans, for example. Just like
Hmm.
understanding like shit happens. On to the next thing. Like
Yeah, no, I felt that. Just being flexible. I feel like that's just like being flexible. Like I'm very flexible. If something go wrong, okay, boop, I already got another plan because I like to plan ahead. But I'm not gonna be like boom, boom, boom with it, but just know that I have a backup plan because it's always something to do. It's
always
always
something.
something else you can do. Yeah, so I felt that. Yeah,
All right, let me try to give you one more. Let me think of one.
yeah, and then we'll jump into the last segment.
Think of one more. I know I can think of something. Green flag.
Yeah, come on, you got another green flag.
I already said just compassionate. I think that's also
That's a good
like,
one.
like with me just being such an empathist. How do I keep fucking up this word?
You're good.
You feel me?
Empath.
Empath. There we go. There we
Yep.
go. That shit is just so important. Like I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I was just I don't know how to explain it. It's like, damn, you don't have like a care in the world. Just like, obviously, it's like some things are out of your control, but just like to understand it and care, like that feels like a lot. That feels, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's I like those. Okay, sure. Okay, so last, well, not the last part, but the last big part of this episode. So I want to throw out some controversial questions.
Oh
Okay,
Lord,
so the thing with this is that you only have 2 to 5 seconds to answer. It is really quick. Okay, it's just like top of the dome type. So ready? Are you ready?
sure,
Okay, now is a hot dog a sandwich?
yes,
Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
neither.
Nicki Minaj or Megan?
Meg,
Is a tomato a fruit?
yes,
Rich or poor?
poor,
Pineapple on pizza.
no,
Would you rather end world hunger or end world war?
world hunger,
Drums or flats?
flats,
Dogs or cats?
dogs, no competition.
Okay. 50 Cent or Eminem?
50 Cent, 50 Cent, he's a Cancer, so that's twin.
Oh
So
yeah, y'all birthday twins. Okay, of course you're gonna choose 50 Cent. Okay. Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation,
Climate change or gun control?
climate change, it's too damn hot.
Okay, plane or car?
Wait, playing a who?
Plane or car? My bad, said it kind of fast. Like an
Car.
airplane? Okay.
Okay, playing a car, playing a car. Car, definitely.
Okay, last one. Sleep with socks on.
Fuck no.
Okay.
Fuck it, no. Only serial killers do that. So
No, for real. That's diabolical. 'Cause what's
why
going
would you
on
do
here?
that?
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god, I love this episode. That's pretty much the end. English. Do you have any final advice for the listeners or any questions for me that you wanna?
Final thoughts. I will say everybody make the most out of the summer. It is what is June 2nd?
June 3rd.
June 3rd. It's gonna be a long summer. Use this time to decompress, work on some life goals, better yourself. Cause like you're not gonna have this much. I mean, most people, obviously people are still working and shit, but like they have this
Mhm.
much availability at one time. Like, so like make the most out of this shit. Like if you want to better yourself, go to the gym, get some yoga
Mhm.
in your life, drink some water, do something.
Yes. Put that lime in that water. Oh yeah. Speaking of gym, I have a question. Which day is your favorite day? Like, is it leg day, chest day, arm day? What's your
probably
favorite?
probably arm day, like biceps or triceps. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Okay. Yeah, so that's all that's you good?
Let me see if I got any questions for you. Where do you see this podcast in the next 2 to 3 years?
That's a great question. Honestly, I see myself switching over to visual podcasts. Like, I wanna, be seen. I want the whole extravagant little setup they be having going on. But yeah, I definitely see it being visual in the next 2 to 3 years. Um and I really, of course, like I'm such a multifaceted person. I really don't like to stick to like certain niches or certain topics. Like I like to talk about all things. Like I don't really don't like anything to be off limits. Of course, certain things I'm not going to talk about,
Well,
but I do see myself just having a lot of different kinds of people with a lot of different backgrounds on the show. Just like doing interviews. Yeah, just kind of leveling up. Yeah, possibly having a co-host one day. You never know. I may make a best friend and we combine, or I don't know. But yeah, I just see myself really just elevating with it when it comes to quality.
I love that. Great answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, that's the end of the episode, you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go ahead and tap in with Tyler, follow Tyler, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.